Hey, hello there. How's our wrestling fans doing? And look, it's me, Red Boa. You could say, trying to, start this video to take things off, settling things about, you could say, AEW, presenting All In London, which happened on Sunday and stuff. And I just wanted to know, like, why didn't like AEW like upload anything about this show on their channel or something? Because they decided not to upload it, like anything about the matches at all. And I'm just wondering. That's why things felt a little bit disorganized. And yeah, like I wasn't going live in like 11 days or so stuff because there's like things just really felt disorganized and stuff, and there was like a lot of personal issues as well, just going real life stuff and all that and stuff, you could say. So anyway, what we had on the Sundays stuff, because is the 0 hour portion, being kicked off and stuff with the team for the 0 hour, being Excalibur, Tony Schiavone, and Matt Menard, which you could say Daddy Magic, you could say. Oh boy, I see we also got a message right here saying good evening. Yep, good evening to you too. I can see from Lauren. Yep, I really appreciate the message and view as well, because I don't get a lot of views and messages you could say and stuff. So anyway, how we start this off is the 16 man tag team match and stuff, the MCs all in the private party and stuff, Isaiah Cassidy, Mark Quinn, coming to the ring first, as the rest of their team included, the premier athletes, Aria Diavari with the Dark Orders, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver, Satnam Singh, and Jay Lethal and stuff. And not only that, Shane Taylor Promotions, Anthony Ogogo was there too and stuff. As we have that right there versus the Don Callis families, Kyle Fletcher, the guy that lost against MJF not too long ago. Well, there's also Rocky Azakar Ramiro with Cape Sabian. Not only that, there's the Dynamite Kid, Tommy Billington, who's one of the newer fighters right there and stuff. And yep. So yeah. Not only that, we also had Top Flight, Dante Martin and Darius Martin being there right here. I just want to say, man. Yep. I see we got a salute emoji from Christopher Jackson Denver. Yep, I like that. That salute emoji does sound pretty cool and stuff. But anyway, but yeah, the thing is, like, things felt a little bit disorganized, and also this show was a little bit beyond my expectation, you could say, because most wrestlers I was going for lost, ended up losing the match. Yeah, that's the thing right there. A number of wrestlers I was going for, they just lost right there, because yeah, just like I said, this was beyond my prediction. It was really beyond my prediction, just rather unexpected and stuff. And it was a little bit disappointing for me and stuff. And yeah, like it was like 11 days or so since I went live or something. But that's because of some personal stuff. But anyway, we get Don Callis joining the broadcast team for this match and stuff. Well, while we also have Tommy Billington drop kicking Jay Lethal and following up with a running shoulder block. Before, we have Lethal just blocking a Hurricane Rana, as they traded chops and stuff. Before we have a Go-Go and Sabian tagging in for their respective teams and stuff, as we have the things breaking down quickly as all, the man just enter the ring and stuff, just beginning to brawl it out and stuff. This is one thing I gotta say I like about, you know, this all-in show. There was like a lot of wrestlers and stuff. It's really extensive. Really extensive. Oh, yep, I see we got a comment from Max Frost saying, "What's up?" Yep, what's up to you too, man? Max Frost right there. So anyway, we get Satnam hoisting Leo up and throwing him out of the ring with a press slam, and not only that, I think we also had Sabian connecting with a running cannonball on Reynolds in the corner right there. As we also have Fletcher blasting Private Party with the lariat and stuff. Before we have Fletcher just rocking Reynolds with the brainbuster. Like, not only that, we also had Private Party planning Sabian with the silly string, as they followed up with the gin juice on Kip and stuff. And from there, we get Rocky just stunning Private Party, stunning the Private Party with the double DDT right there. And yeah, that's one of my favorite moves right there, the double DDT, I gotta say. So anyway, that's where we have the Dynamite Kid, getting up his block, knock off by a Go-Go and stuff. As we also have Fletcher just grabbing a Go-Go and just spiking him with the Tombstone Pile Driver, which is one of, I think, the Undertaker's most used technique right there. Because yeah, the Undertaker had quite some history with that move right there. He was so good at it that he had to nerf it a little bit because of possible injuries from way back then, you could say. So anyway, we get Dante hitting the crossover frog over the frog splash on Araya, and scoring the pin right there and stuff, and that's what concluded the match right there, you could say. So yeah, I guess that's what led to the mixed tag match with Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway versus the CMLL World Women's Champion Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii and stuff right there. So yeah, how that started off with was Statlander, going right to the attack with Willow, ducking a kick and rolling up Statlander from right there in the situation as, we get Willow just planting Statlander with the spine buster after a distraction from Stokely, as we also get Statlander just wiping out Willow with a flying crossbody and press and stuff. And yeah, I guess from there, Statlander suplex Willow on the arena floor. Not only that, we go back in the ring with Willow rallying back with a series of lariats and stuff. And yeah, also I remember when the rivalry between Statlander and Willow first started back in Double or Nothing, because I remember like Willow Nightingale had that one match, and then I think Statlander just like immediately turned against her and stuff. That was a good show right there too, which was like several months ago, you could say. So I guess from right here, yeah, you get Statlander firing back with a blue thunder bomb for a near fall, and not only that stuff. And yeah, I guess one of the comments says that the last ride was a favorite move right there. Yep, that is true. That is worth being a favorite move, you could say. The last ride being a favorite move right there. And honestly, I think the thing is, I wish I was a little bit more prepared for the results and stuff, because things were a little bit disorganized. Because I just want to know why, AEW didn't upload anything about All In on their channel. Like, they didn't upload about the fights, you could say. It's just like real hard to prepare. That's the thing. So that's why I'm just gonna go through this anyway, because it took me some time to do this. So anyway, we get Tomohiro tagging in, and not only that, we get Stokely reluctantly entering the ring, and that's where Ishii knocked Hathaway down to the mat with the hard shoulder block right there in the result. And not only that, Statlander jumped in the ring and smashed Ishii with the forearm and stuff, with Stokely planting Ishii with the spine buster, but Ishii, went right back to his feet and stuff before we also have Ishii just powerbombing Stokely, but Statlander jumped in to break up the pin attempt, and from there, yeah, Willow flew at Statlander with the pounce, before we have Ishii just smashing Stokely with the running forearm and pinning Stokely and stuff due to the victory, where we also get Willow just getting to choose the stipulation when she faces Statlander, in 2 weeks and stuff right there, and I guess that's what concluded the match right there and stuff. So yeah, I guess not only that, we had Tony Schiavone introducing Dr. Martha Hart and Tony Khan into the ramp next and stuff. From there we also had Dr. Martha Hart just wishing good luck to the winners of the 2024 Owen Hart Foundation men and women's tournaments, with Mariah May and Bryan Danielson in their championship matches that night and stuff. Which leads to a 10-man tag match. Like there was lots of tag teams going on in this show, you could say, like lots of tag teams. That's the thing. Just like so much tag teams. I don't know, because like, how do I say this? Like, I really like how they included a lot of wrestlers involved in this show. Like even though I really wanted Darby to win, I wanted Britt Baker to win, and I also wanted a Swerve to win as well. But the problem with me is that they lost. Like that's what I meant. When the show was like beyond my prediction. That's the thing. Yeah, and I guess you could say probably reception was a hand in it as well. Yeah, just like what this comment says right here and stuff. Yeah, that's what Lauren was telling me. You could say that probably the reception was a hand in it and stuff. And also the last ride is her favorite move, you could say. So anyway, yeah, I guess to start off with this 10-man tag match, you could say, being the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion, Ring of Honor World 6-Man Champion, the Natural Dustin Rhodes, with the Von Erichs, and you get the 6-Man Champion Marshall Von Erich, with not only that, Ross Von Erich also being there too. And I guess from there, Sammy Guevara joined in as well, and there was also Katsuyori Shibata and stuff. Both of them versus the Cage of Agony and stuff, with Bishop Khan Toa Leona and the Machine Brian Cage, along with the Undisputed Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett and stuff. And I guess from there, both teams began to brawl as the champs made their entrance and stuff before Sammy connected with the crossbody press to Bishop, and the match was officially underway. And I guess, also from there, Sammy hit a corkscrew drop kick with Sammy stunning Cage with the cutter from the top rope before Toa pounced Sammy, perhaps turning the tide right there, with Sammy hitting the GTH on Bishop. But, Toa was waiting for that opportunity right there for Sammy with the Samoan drop right there. And not only that, Sammy wasted no time, just wiping out the opposition with the shooting star press to the outside. We also get Dustin drilling Taven with the Canadian Destroyer. And I guess from there, the Gates powerbombed the Von Erichs off the turnbuckles. And not only that, Taven caught Shibata with the Death Valley driver and stuff. But, Dustin grabbed Taven with the Crossroads. And which led to, the Von Erichs using stereo drop kicks on the Gates of Agony and stuff, as we have Shibata battering Bennett in the quarter. Well, where we also get Shibata following up with the running drop kick after Dustin nailed Taven with the brain buster right there. And not only that, Sammy flattened Taven with the Senton. And also from there, Dustin covered Taven and pinned him and stuff. And not only that, Kevin Von Erich put Taven in the Iron Claw after the match, and that's where you have Dustin, Sammy, Ross, and Marshall following up with the Iron Claws on the other members of the opposition and stuff right there. Yep, and I guess next from that, the Outcast, Saraya, you could say, along with Harley Cameron, the entire Night family came out to the ring and stuff, discussing a conversation and stuff right there, you could say. Because I know Harley said that she needed everyone to simmer down because Saraya was really angry that stuff. And, she was also saying the show cannot go on and all that. And what else? Another thing they said is that, Jamie Hayter made her return. Because, that's the thing right there. This is a show where Jamie Hayter finally came back. Because that's the thing. I completely forgot about Jamie Hayter before this show right here. I just completely forgot about her because she wasn't around for a while. That's the thing. And also another thing beyond my prediction is that later on in this show, in the later parts, that Sting also got involved as well. That kind of caught me off guard because I didn't expect that. Also, and that's the thing right there. And not to forget Ricochet. He joined AEW as well during this show at this moment. His debut, you could say. He had his own little debut for All In at that one match. So anyway, I guess the opening contest for the main card of All In was, the AEW, the AEW Trios Championship London ladder match with the Patriarchy, Christian Cage, Kill Switch, and Nick Wayne versus the Bang Bang Gang, the Juice Robinson and the Guns and stuff, Austin and Colton versus the House of Black, Brody King, Buddy Matthews, and Malachi Black and stuff. Yeah, good. I guess it's good to see Malachi Black really hanging in there after Adam Copeland literally stomped on him on that table that one time and stuff. And I really hope that Adam Copeland comes back because that was a really good match right there too. That other show, you could say. So yeah. Yep. So yep. Also, yep. Also, one of my viewers is saying that, they're glad that Jamie Hayter came back. Yep. And also, me and a friend of mine used to joke about this thing called the Haterade, which is a reference to Gatorade. Yeah, the Haterade. Remember, we would talk about that a lot and stuff. Yep. It's also good that Sting and Ricochet came back too, you could say. So anyway, to start this off, we get the former Ring of Honor World Champion Nigel McGuinness joining the broadcast booth for the show, where it was, bedlam outside the ring as well. The teams brawling it out and stuff as we get Pac hitting Austin with the pump kick. And from there, Brody King leveled Pac with the lariat. And not only that, Colton drop kicked Brody before we have Pac wiping out everyone with the stinky twister press to the floor. And from there, the Guns double teamed Pac and then ordered Juice to get on the tables and stuff before Brody bulldozed the Guns and then flew out of the ring and stuff with the tope. As we also get Christian Cage just finally coming down to the ring and stuff before Christian grabbed a ladder and set it up on the ring and stuff. Before we also have Christian just trying to make the climb to the titles, but Brody and Claudio threw Christian over the top rope in there. Yeah, this match had Claudio doing the giant swing as well. Yep. Yeah, you could say someone commented, "Yep, it all depends on his injury and stuff." Yeah, that's a really good point right there. It all depends right there. Stuff. I hope Adam Copeland's injury isn't that bad, like not too bad, because I remember what happened to the Viper from WWE. He was out for a long time, you could say. He really was. He was out for like a really long time, man. I really hope that Adam Copeland doesn't end up in the same position, you could say. I really hope he doesn't. That's the thing. So anyway, we get Pac choke slamming Malachi onto a ladder that was propped against the corner. As we also get Nick Wayne just blasting Brody with the Wayne's World through the table and stuff. And honestly, the thing about the Wayne's World technique that has to be a reference to a movie, because here's the thing: there is an old movie called Wayne's World, and there's a technique right here called Wayne's World. It's a real funny coincidence, you could say, and stuff. Probably not a coincidence at all. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. But anyway, the House of Black isolated Wheeler in the corner, and all three members struck at once. Before we have the Guns just blasting Brody with the 310 to Yuma, and from there, Claudio fired off European uppercuts to the Guns. And I really want to say Claudio Castagnoli is one of my most favorite fighters, because I really like his giant swing and the way he does things. It's just like real strength based. I find that pretty cool anyway. So yeah, right here, Claudio put Juice in the giant swing and hurled him around the ring until Wheeler Yuta dropkicked Juice and stuff. As we also get Pac just adding an exclamation point to the end of the sentence with the black arrow to Juice Robinson from there and stuff. Yeah, you could say. Yeah, I guess like also the thing regarding Randy Orton is that he was out for 18 months and stuff. Even though to me it felt a little bit longer than that. Oh, yeah. Felt a little bit longer, 18 months. So wait, 18 months, I guess you could say is like almost like 2 years or something. Yeah, that's like around 2 years or something. Yeah, 18 months that Randy Orton was out, you could say, and stuff. So yeah, we get Nick Wayne right here hitting the Wayne's World on Buddy Matthews or something. Buddy right here. Well, Black sent Nick into the ladder. As from there, we get Black beginning to climb the ladder, but Juice pulled him down, and yeah, Black nailed Juice with a knee strike, with Nick walloping Black with the tope into a destroyer through a table, which I thought was pretty cool right here, because I want to say this match. I mean, okay, look, outside the 0 hour, to the actual show, this match right here started off pretty good in my opinion. Even though some wrestlers I was going for actually lost, man, because I really wanted Darby to win. I wanted Britt Baker to win. I wanted Swerve to win. Because you're telling me that Bryan Danielson, okay, you're telling me that Bryan Danielson can struggle against Jeff Jarrett. Oh, but, things are different with Swerve. That felt a little bit confusing to me. But anyway, we get Black nailing Juice with a knee strike, with Nick walloping Black with the tope into a destroyer through a table, just like I said. Not only that, we get Juice grabbing a giant ladder and going to the top, but Christian Cage just shoved it right there, knocked Juice from the very top right there. That's one thing I like right there, you could say. I really like when they fall off the ladder. It just makes the match more interesting from what I think. So anyway, he knocked Juice from the very top right there, with Juice falling and crouching himself into the ropes and stuff, which looked very painful to me, because I don't want to land my... I'm not going to say it, man. I'm not going to talk about private parts. I'm not going to talk about private parts on here. That's just going to make the live stream weird. So anyway, we get Christian Cage cracking Pac with the kill switch and stuff, with Mother Wayne just giving Christian Cage a can of something, and Christian spraying the can into Yuta's eyes right there. And not only that, you have Mother Wayne, you could say, trying to use the hairspray on Juice, but Juice blocked it with her steel chair, before we have Juice grabbing the can from her and spraying her on the eyes and and helping him up the ladder and stuff, as we have Pac climbing the other side of the ladder and stuff. Before we also get Pac just booting Christian Cage off the ladder and retrieving the belts right there. I guess you could say, yeah, that right there is what concluded the match right there with Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, and the so-called bastard Pac, you could say, winning the match right there and stuff. Yep. And that not only that, the wild card team captured the AEW World Trials Champion and making Pac a two-time World Trials Champion. You could say, which you could say was a beginning to start the broadcast tonight. Which is one thing Excalibur was saying with the House of Black showing Pac a sign of respect, raising Pac's arm to help him celebrate his victory. Because that right there, you could say, is a good sportsmanship right there. That the House of Black showed Pac a sign of respect and raising his arm to help him celebrate the victory. As we also get the AEW Women's World Championship match, Timeless Tony Storm with Luther, the Butler, honestly, because I couldn't figure out that dude's name at first, because, yeah, he did look like a butler. I was, like, wondering what's up with that dude and stuff. So, yeah, Timeless Tony Storm versus the Glamour Mariah May. I mean, I was going for Tony Storm to win this match, but I'm okay with Mariah May winning this one. Because, yeah, you could say Mariah May really wanted to get out of Tony Storm's shadow from what was said earlier and stuff. She really wanted to get out of her shadow right here, and this was, like, the opportunity right here. So, yeah, this match really decided that Mariah May was completely out of the shadow, you could say. So, yeah, both wrestlers slugged it out in a hockey fight, breaking out at the start of the match right there happening is one thing, and not only that, Mariah blasted Tony with a big drop kick. And then, yeah, right there, the new Rev Pro undisputed British Women's Champion Mina Shirakawa was sitting in the royal box right there, torn between, Tony and Mariah, because she had that concerned look on her face and stuff. So, yeah, you could say Mina Shirakawa was along with the crowd and stuff, as we get Mariah and Tony just trading chops, with Tony just catching Mariah with the DDT, and not only that, Mariah dodged the hip attack and powerbomb Tony off the apron, as we also have Mariah just spatting at Luther in the face and stuff, as we get Mariah just driving down Tony with a spinning side slam. And yeah, from there, Tony escaped a body lock submission. And not only that, Tony took down, Mariah with the Dez press and grounded and pounded Mariah right there in the process and stuff. As we get Mariah just firing back with the jumping knee strike off the apron and stuff, not only that, Mariah, stunned Luther with the drop kick, and Mariah just slapped her own mother, who was sitting in the front row. So I was just thinking, come on, Mariah, that was your mother in the crowd, and you just decided to just come up with there and just slap her in the face. Like no wonder why she was taking Tony Storm's side from the looks of it. Because what the heck was that about? I mean, am I missing something? Mariah May just walked up to her own mother, who was in the crowd, and just slapped her in the face. Like, what the heck is this? Just like I said, this show was beyond my prediction. Completely beyond my prediction. Like, just really unexpected, you could say. So, yeah, anyway, we get Tony Storm powerbombing Mariah May for a near fall, and not only that, Mariah regained some momentum with the drop kick from the top rope. And also, yeah, Mariah squashed Tony with his hip attack, and from there, Mariah smiled and connected with two more hip attacks right there, with Mariah just waiting for a fourth, but Tony countered with the lariat and a German suplex. And yeah, also from there, Tony rocked Mariah with the hip attack of her own, and then Storm Zero. And then the Storm Zero happened right there, but, Mariah May kicked out at the 2 count right there. You could say, with Tony Schiavone, commenting about Mariah May, saying she is like a horror movie villain, rising up with blood on her face, because, yeah, that's what she had. Yep. That's one good thing about this show. It showed some blood, some hardcore stuff and hardcore blood, even though most wrestlers I was going for managed to lose in the process and stuff is in that stuff. So, yeah, anyway, where was I? Yeah, the champion and challenger fell to the mat after hitting one another with double headbutts, with Mariah planting Tony with the Mayday for a near fall and stuff, as we also get Mariah just crawling over for the title belt, but Luther pulled it away from her and stuff, as Mariah had the shoe in her hand. But, Tony spotted it and yanked it away from right there. As, we get Tony considering using the shoe to Mariah, but she was torn and began to cry and stuff, you could say. As we get, Excalibur commenting, Tony could bring herself to it. She loved Mariah May and stuff. As we get Mariah just ramming Tony with the 2 knee strikes, and then spiking Tony with the Storm Zero, scoring the pin right there. And that's where Mariah May managed to win the match right there and stuff. As we get Mariah May completing the journey that was months in the making, you could say, paved with blood of the woman who loved her. which was commented by Excalibur anyway and stuff. And yeah, you could say not only that, from there, the FTW championship match happened right there. The Learning Tree, Chris Jericho with the Redwood, Big Bill and Bad Apple, Brian Keith, versus Hook, which started with Fozzy playing as Jericho, sang his way to the ring and stuff. Honestly, I get a little bit creeped out when Chris Jericho just sarcastically waves hi. Just get a little bit creeped out by that, you could say, and stuff. As we also have Big Bill just splashing Hook in the corner with Jericho just cracking Hook with the code breaker, and not only that, Hook kicked out at the 1 count and stuff. As we get Hook just sending Keith for a ride with the suplex. As we also have Hook hurling Jericho with the German suplex from there. Not only that, we have Hook following up with the Team-Bone suplex. Before, we also get Jericho just regaining momentum with the Lion Salt on Hook right there from stuff, which looked pretty good. So anyway, honestly, I know one thing for sure is that I was not going for Chris Jericho. I was just not, because that dude can get a little bit creepy sometimes, you could say. He could get a little bit creepy, you could say. That's the thing. So anyway, we get Jericho grabbing a kendo stick and a pull cue, an empty bag of cricket balls into the ring before we have Hook just suplexing Jericho and then pulling a cricket bat out from beneath the ring before we have Hook just chucking cricket balls at Jericho right there as Hook suplex Jericho with the cricket bat, you could say, and stuff right there, because yeah, they were getting out the weapons and stuff. And also from there, Brian Keith ambushed Hook with the trash can lid, whacking Hook in the head right there, while we also have Jericho just locking in the walls. But also from there, yeah, Hook escaped and put Jericho on the walls of Jericho, you could say, before we have Big Bill just jumping in and just clubbing Hook from behind, before we also have Brian Keith putting a board wrapped in barbed wire onto the table. As we also have Big Bill just trying to choke slam Hook through the table and stuff, but Hook right there escaped and ran Big Bill into the steel ring post, before we also have Jericho just grabbing a trash can and clocking Hook in the head with it, you could say, before we also get Hook just dodging the Judas effect and planting Jericho with the T-bone. Hook removed tape from, T-bone stuff happening right there, but we also get Hook removing the tape from his eyes, saying that he could see right there, because yeah, that's the thing about Chris Jericho. He used a fireball glass right on Hook's eye the other time, I remember. So yeah, you could say he's been playing Jericho the entire time. And also another thing I've noticed is that Chris Jericho has some techniques that named after biblical stuff, like the walls of Jericho. Yeah, I've noticed that he has some biblical gimmick, or you could say there's some biblical stuff going on about his techniques and stuff. The name of his moves I've noticed, like the walls of Jericho. So anyway, we get Hook, going for the red rum, but right there, Big Bill just pulled Hook off Jericho, with Jericho just wanting to use the pull cue on Hook. As we also get Big Bill just holding Hook's arms right there, and Hook managed to escape, and Jericho inadvertently smacked Big Bill with the pull cue, just knocking Big Bill off the apron and through a table. You could say from there. So if you have, thank goodness, man, thank goodness commercials weren't a thing. Can I just say, at least commercials aren't as much of a thing when you're watching the show through YouTube. None of this BK. Come on. We already know what the commercials are and stuff. So yeah, we get Hook applying the red rum, but Jericho escaped and shoved Hook into Brian Keith right here, as Brian blasted Hook with the foreign object, before we also get Jericho just covering Hook. But from there, Hook kicked out at the last second, with Taz just yelling out that he understands that these are FTW rules, but he's gonna have to play by his own rules right there and stuff, with Taz dropping his headset, with Taz locking Brian Keith in the Taz mission. I like how he calls that the Taz mission. That's the thing right there. He locked him in the Taz mission. What's going on right there? Before we also get Hook grabbing Jericho, but putting Jericho in the red rum and Jericho tapping out right there and stuff. We have with Hook winning the match right there, winning against Chris Jericho right there, and that's the thing right there. So anyway, you also have Excalibur talking about Taz, telling Taz to take care of business outside the ring, while Hook, now the 3-time FTW champion, take care of business inside the ring and stuff. That little deal he was thinking of. So yeah, not only that, we also had the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson and stuff, versus the Acclaimed, Anthony Bowens and Matt Caster with Daddy Ass, you could say, which is a name I find pretty funny, versus FTR, Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood right there, stuff. I don't know if, yep, and that was, This match right here, honestly, yeah, it's kind of like a three-way tag team championship match. You could say that's the thing right there. How do I put it? Yeah, that's one thing you could say. So yeah, well, okay. So anyway, we get Matthew nailing Cash with an assisted sliced bread before they followed up with the neck breaker, back breaker, you could say combo with vintage Young Bucks on display before we have Cash retaliating with an uppercut to Nicholas. Before we have Cash just power slamming Nicholas with Cash just dodging a splash from Matthew and tagging out to Bowens and stuff before we get Bowens just cleaning, just doing the clean house on the Bucks and stuff before you get Caster just piling up the Bucks and just Bowen dropping the scissor and stuff, the scissor me timbers, you could say, on the sandwich Bucks, because that's a funny little pun right there. Exactly, that's the thing. Like I was kind of like I don't know, like I was. That's the thing. Like I was going for either the Acclaimed or the FTR, but what? Why the Young Bucks? I just want to tell you, like it's just like I said, this match was just different than I expected. Man, this was just beyond my expectation, prediction. Like, gosh, man. Like, also also like the thing about AEW is like they don't. I understand the show was on Sunday, but they could still upload it on their channel anyway. Like, is it really that difficult? Like, I was wondering. Like, anyway, so we got Matthew nailing Cash with an assisted sliced bread. You could say, well, they followed up with a neck breaker, back breaker, like I said right there and stuff. As we also have, Dax dishing out more German suplexes on Matthew with FTR just, being not done yet, just hitting German suplexes on both the Bucks with Dax just planning Matthew with a DDT right there. One of my favorite moves right there. There's also, yeah, because I guess you could say, Tony Khan does love those guys. Yeah, I really wish like FTR or the Acclaimed would have won that, but I was not going for the Young Bucks. That's the thing right there. Stuff. I was just not going for the Young Bucks, for the sake of Darby Allin, because he really wanted to light he really wanted to light that one dude on fire, you could say. So anyway, we get Dax dishing out more German suplexes on Matthew and stuff. The stuff is we have FTR not done yet, hitting German suplexes on both the Bucks, you could say. And only that Dax planted Matthew with a DDT, one of my favorite moves, like I said earlier as well. Not only that, Nicholas DDT managed to do a DDT. Bowens on the floor. He managed to DDT Bowens on the floor. You could say, well, we have the Bucks just looking for the EVP trigger on Dax before we have Cash just breaking it up instead. I guess instead from there, just Caster and Matthew just rock Dax with the EVP trigger and stuff. Is then Cash and Caster just caught Matthew with the Shatter Machine right there and stuff right there, which does sound like a pretty cool name. You could say Shatter Machine. You could say so. Yeah. Anyway, we get Bowens hitting the Arrival, and then Caster used the mixed drop on Matthew before you have Nicholas just breaking up the pin or attempt and stuff. And also from there, the Bucks drilled Dax with the EVP trigger, and Matthew earned their pinfall victory right there and stuff right there. Yep, and there you go. Whoop-de-doo. The Young Bucks managed to win the match. Yeah, that's a real good whoop-de-doo right there, man. I wish the results would have said that. Yee-hoo! I like the Young Bucks. I like that they win. Yee-hoo! That's some good stuff, man. But anyway, we got the AEW World Title #1 Contender Casino Gauntlet match happening right there with the where we have Mark Briscoe versus Hangman Adam Page and Evil Uno over Kyle O'Reilly, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, AEW Continental Champion, the Rainmaker Kazuchika Okada versus another dude I'm not familiar with, you could say. Yeah, I just love how they call that one thing the submission, yee-hoo! The Taz mission, you could say. I really like how someone I know did that noise, you could say. So yeah, anyway, to start off, we get Cassidy earning the #1 spot, the second competitor being Okada, with Cassidy taking down the Rainmaker with a drop kick. As we have the clock just ticking down, and the next entrant was Nigel McGuinness and stuff. As you could say, Excalibur saying that they are on their feet here at the Wembley Stadium and stuff. As we had Taz just saying, "What a reaction!" stuff. Because yeah, that's the thing. There was a timer going on, and when the timer went off, more wrestlers came in. That's one other match I liked. That's the thing. I'm most likely going to give this an 8 out of 10. Like at first, I felt like giving this a 7 out of 10, but the way things turned out, I was gonna give it a 8 out of 10 instead. And also, to me, it felt like this match was even longer than, how do I say it? Even longer than Slammiversary 2009. Because I mean, like, let's say this show, I guess it felt like almost 6 hours if you include the 0 hour. If you include it with the 0 hour, that's almost a 6 hour show. That's like past 5 hours, man. That was like pretty long time. This show was pretty extensive, you could say, and stuff. So yeah. Anyway, we get Nigel and Zack trading big uppercuts with Okada shoving Nigel out of the way before Okada smashed Zack with the neck breaker. And not only that, Roderick Strong was in the next entrant. We also have Roger just cleaning house with not black, back breakers for everyone, you could say. Before we get the Ring of Honor World Champion Mark Briscoe storming the ring next, because we have Briscoe just clobbering Okada and Kyle with the redneck Kung Fu Fun, you could say, because I like the name of that move by Mark Briscoe, the redneck Kung Fu, you could say. So yet anyway, we get Briscoe using a steel chair as a catapult. Not only that, jumping over the top rope is one thing he was doing while taking out the Roderick and Nigel. Is we have Hangman Adam Page being the next man to the ring and stuff. Before we have Page just tossing Cassidy with a fall-away slam, as we also get Page just planting Roddy with a power bomb on the apron from there. And not only that, Hangman drilled Orange with the dead eye from there as well. Before we have the last outlaw, Jeff Jarrett, being the next participant. And I was like just wondering, like, when are we having Jeff Jarrett retiring? When is he going to retire? I mean, I'm not really that much into Jeff Jarrett, you could say. I'm really not that much into Jeff Jarrett. That's the thing. I'm just really not. So anyway, I mean, Jeff Jarrett did put on a good match against Bryan Danielson that other time, but I'm just really not that into him, you could say. So anyway, we get Hangman on Page powerbombing Jarrett over the top rope into the floor before Hangman grabbed Karen, who was on the apron, but then, Ricochet just made his entrance and caught Hangman's eye and stuff. So yeah, that right there, you could say, is where the rumors were true. Ricochet came up at that very moment. That was cool. I'm really looking forward to what Ricochet does in AEW in the future and stuff. Yep, because Ricochet was from WWE. Yeah, that's the thing right there. So yeah, you can say Ricochet mixed it up with an AEW original and drop kicked Adam Page right there with all the fans standing and chanting Ricochet's name. Because we also have Ricochet just using a shooting star press to the floor, wiping out all the competitors. As they said that Taz said that he feel like Ricochet is going to fit right in the process and stuff, which I'm pretty sure is going to happen. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm pretty sure Ricochet is going to pull it off real good, you could say. So yeah, that's the thing right there. So yeah, with Orange pulping Zack with the orange punch with now. So yeah, how do I say this? Orange pulp Zack with the orange punch, and then Roddy nailed Orange with the end of the heartache before we get Nigel just using the Tower of London on Kyle and Briscoe and stuff. Not only that, he almost scored the pin on Kyle right there before Christian Cage speared Nigel right there, and Luchasaurus sprinted to the net ring next right there. It's just kind of funny just having Christian Cage in two matches. Like, he was already in the other match, so yeah, I got a little bit confused at first when he was like on this match right here as well. So yeah, you get Luchasaurus. He's about to turn against Christian Cage, but then you get Kyle just approaching them before you get Luchasaurus changing course and choke slamming Kyle and stuff. Before you have Luchasaurus placing Christian Cage on top of Kyle. Not only that, Christian Cage stole the pin right there and stuff. Honestly, this part I got a little bit confused because it looked like Luchasaurus was about to betray him, but then he helped him win. He helped him win and stuff. It's just like a little two-faced situation. It just makes you wonder what's going to go on in the future with Luchasaurus, you could see, who's also Kill Switch. Because, yeah, you got Mother Wayne and Nick Wayne walking down to the ring to help Christian Cage celebrate and stuff. And yeah, that's the thing right there. Because, yeah, as you may notice from other shows, that Luchasaurus was just getting frustrated with Christian Cage over some reasons. He just felt like he was being rejected. So, yeah, this one here was also beyond my prediction because I thought MJF was going to win this one and stuff, but apparently not. So anyway, you could say MJF and Will Ospreay, the aerial assassin, duked it out in the bell ring and stuff, with Ospreay being in high gear right away, connecting with the Sasuke special. And I do recall like Will Ospreay showing up with a little video game reference, because yeah, there was you could say he was promoting the video game Assassin's Creed. That's the thing, because I noticed there was the Assassin's Creed logo and the Assassin's Creed flag, and like I don't know what the game is like, the game Assassin's Creed, which Will Ospreay was promoting. I don't know what I don't know what it's like because I never had it, but it does look pretty cool, you could say. So anyway, they duked it out as the bell rang before you have Ospreay just being in high gear right there, connecting with the Sasuke special before, Ospreay was looking for the hidden blade. But I guess from there, MJF dropped to his feet and stuff. And yeah, I guess also MJF just gouged the eyes of the challenger before you have MJF just whipping Ospreay into the steel guardrail. And yeah, from there, Ospreay charged at MJF, but I guess MJF just countered with the backdrop. And also from there, Ospreay came crashing into the arena floor with MJF blocking an O's cutter in the ring and stuff, as we had MJF just power bombing Ospreay onto his knee for a near fall, before you also have MJF just signaling for the kangaroo kick and then knocking Ospreay down with it, before you have Ospreay just blocking the heat seeker and countering with the springboard elbow strike right here. And not only that, MJF poked poked Ospreay in the eyes, before you also get MJF just posing and stuff. Yeah, this part was a little bit funny right here, because like I don't know how I don't want to do it on camera or anything, because it's funny how MJF was just doing that little dance, like just doing the little dance, because that's what MJF was doing right there. I thought it was funny and stuff, doing little poses and stuff with Will, just just wasting no time, unleashing a wicked kick to MJF's head and stuff. We also get Ospreay just trying to go for another Sasuke special, but right from there, MJF blocked and countered with the tombstone pile driver on the floor. Sorry, tongue slipped. So anyway, that's the thing about, I guess, like the tombstone has become like really popular since then. The tombstone pile driver just going on the arena floor and stuff. Yeah. So yeah, not only that, we have MJF trying for a springboard, but Ospreay managed to move out of the way and stuff before we get MJF just landing on his feet and charging at Ospreay. But from there, yeah, Ospreay countered with the Spanish fly, and from there, Ospreay splashed like MJF the shooting star press as MJF draped the ropes. And not only that, we get MJF countering the Stormbreaker with the crossroads for a near fall. And not only that, Ospreay was clutching his neck, and yep, that's where you get Ospreay just countering with the brainbuster with the stun dog, and then a cutter for a 2 count on MJF. As we get Ospreay just blasting MJF with the double jump O's cutter when going for the cover, but I guess from there MJF placed his boot on the rope to force the ref to stop the count and stuff. Because because that right there is where MJF was just cussing him out, just cussing people out. He was just yelling at the referee, yelling at the crowd and stuff. We get the fans chanting Tiger Driver at Ospreay and stuff. And not only that, we get Ospreay attempting an O's cutter on the apron before MJF dodged it. And, Ospreay crashed and burned, and you could say, and stuff before you get MJF just planning Ospreay with a Panama Sunrise on the apron. Not only that, Ospreay avoided the heat seeker and connected with the heel kick. As we also get Ospreay just clocking MJF with an O's cutter on the apron as the fans chanted, "This is awesome. This is awesome." Yeah, that's the thing right there, you could say. So yeah, I guess you have Taz right there saying the game plan is falling apart for Max, he thinks, and stuff, as we got MJF trying a hidden blade of his own, but Ospreay ducked it and stuff, with Ospreay just drilling MJF with the hidden blade, inadvertently knocking Max into the referee and stuff. Because yeah, that's the thing right there. MJF managed to duck right down at that moment and stuff, with the Will Ospreay accidentally hitting the, hitting that one guy and stuff, and stuff. So anyway, we got MJF countering with a low blow to Ospreay before MJF had brass knuckles, was ready to use them when someone in a hood jumped on the apron and struck MJF right there before you have the Masked Man revealing himself, and it was basically Daniel Garcia. Because that's the thing right there. Like at first, I was wondering who that guy in black was, but apparently it was Daniel Garcia. So yeah, there you have it right there, Daniel Garcia turning on MJF right there and that stuff as a result. So yeah, not only that, ouch, my back. So anyway, we get how do I say this? The ref trying to hand championships to Will Ospreay, and Ospreay just couldn't accept it because you get Christopher Daniels jumping into the ring and handing Ospreay the AEW International Championship belt, with Will just taking the international belt and just kissing it and stuff. Because I guess that's the thing. Because the thing about the belt that MJF made is Will Ospreay just wasn't that into it. You could say, as we get ladies, as you could say, you have Justin Roberts saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, your new AEW International Champion, the Aerial Assassin, Will Ospreay." So yeah, Will Ospreay managed to win that match right there and stuff. So we get Giovanni saying the International Championship is back in AEW, and what a match you could say. So yeah, MJF lost that one right there. Stuff, but I still I really wanted Swerve to win that one. I really did. I really wanted to work, man. So that's the thing. So anyway, besides that, we have the TBS Championship match. The CEO Mercedes Moné with Camille versus Britt Baker. So Dr. Britt Baker, you could say the DMD or something. As we also get Mercedes drop kicking Britt with Brick trying for the lockjaw right away, but Mercedes rolled out of the ring and Camille distracted Baker and stuff, with Mercedes seizing the moment and dropping Baker with the backbreaker across the turnbuckle and stuff. And yeah, some people were saying that, like some people were pointing out, or some fans were pointing out that Britt Baker just doesn't have a chance against Camille due to their size comparison. But I really didn't think that was the case. I really didn't. So anyway, we get Baker rattling Mercedes with the ripcord before we also have Mercedes just retaliating with the Three Amigos suplex sequence. Not only that, from there, Mercedes punished Baker with the double knee drop to Baker's back before we also get Mercedes hitting Baker with an avalanche body slam from the second turnbuckle. Also from there, Britt went for the curb stomp before Mercedes countered with the power bomb, and Britt got some momentum with the sling blade to Mercedes right there. And that's where I think that's what led to, Camille pulling Mercedes' boot right there, forcing the ref to stop the count due to Mercedes' boot breaking the rope plane and stuff. As we also get Britt just going for after Camille and stuff, and the ref tried to stop Britt Baker right there and stuff as the ref was dealing with Britt and Camille right there, because they really don't like each other, it seems. They really did not, you could say, and stuff. And yeah, also we had, as the ref was dealing with Britt and Camille, we also had Mercedes just grabbing the TBS championship and hiding it in her arms, with Mercedes just wanting to use the belt, but ref Paul Turner caught her red-handed and pulled it away. I guess from there, Camille tried to jump in the ring, but Britt connected with the thrust kick. And so, yeah, this match I was going for Britt Baker too, and she lost as well. That's the thing you could say. Most wrestlers I was going for really did not make it. That sucks. So anyway, we get Britt pretending that Camille had struck her with the New Japan Wrestling Strong Women's Championship, you could say, as we get ref Paul Turning ejecting Camille as a result, because she's not supposed to be a part of the fight and stuff, because Camille actually wasn't a part of the fight. That's why she was ejected. So yeah, from there we get Baker rocking Mercedes with the Panama Sunrise and the curb stop for a near fall on Mercedes, before we also get Baker just wanting for the lockjaw. But from there, Mercedes bit down on Baker's hand, with Mercedes just playing Baker with the Monet Maker, and pin Baker as a result. Yeah, they had to rhyme and stuff. Sorry about that. So yeah, that's where Mercedes Monet managed to win the match right there. Come on, man. Okay, and this match right here, after what happened in the women's match, was a little bit sad to me, because I really wanted Darby to win. That's the thing. I really wanted him to win. I was really going for Darby Allin. I got a little bit disappointed and stuff, and that's the reason why I'm most likely giving this an 8 out of 10. Because if this was any worse, in my opinion, I would give this a 7 out of 10. That's the thing. So anyway, where do we start? Darby starting off with thumbtacks glued to his face as Jack Perry was making his entrance. Before we also get Darby jumping out of the ring and tackling him, as Darby whacked Perry with the steel chair. And from there, Darby used his face as a weapon, pushing the thumbtacks against Perry's head. Yeah, also from there, Perry jumped off the ropes and drop kicked Perry, who was on a chair outside the ring, before we get Darby just, standing the coffin up and rocketing out of the ring, you could say, before Perry dodged it and sending Darby crashing against it and stuff. As we have Jack Perry emptying a bag of broken glass in the ring, because yeah, that's the thing. They were trying to go hardcore on this one. I mean, I really wanted Darby to win. But still hardcore in my opinion. Okay, still good. It's decent. Okay. I mean, at least they showed some hardcore stuff, you could say. And I know some. Yeah. Also, you may notice that Jack Perry. No, it wasn't Jack. Anyway, Anyway, we get Jack pulling off Darby's belt and whipping him with it before we have Jack just tying Darby's legs together with Darby's belt before we have Jack Perry just throwing Darby off the stage and through a table below. Because we also have Jack Perry pulling a body bag toward Darby and Jack Perry putting Darby in the body bag and then zipping it up before you have Perry just pulling the bag and stuff with Darby inside it, toward the coffin. Not only that, Jack Perry smashed Darby with a running knee strike and then slamming the lid, retaining the TNT championship, you could say, from there and stuff. As we get Excalibur saying that Jack Perry handling Darby Allin with his first ever loss in a coffin match, you could say, was one thing. So yeah, that right there is where Matthew Nicholas Jackson walked down the ramp, and they got a gas can with Darby inside the coffin, and they just decided to. They were about to lit it on fire, you could say, but that's the moment where Sting came in and stuff. Because I really did not expect Sting to come back, you could say. So anyway, we get Nicholas pouring gas into the coffin and then top of the lid before Jack Perry hit a lighter, but the lights in Wembley went dark and stuff. And right there, the lights returned and Sting came in right there in the moment. Because what's going on in this show? I thought Sting was in retirement. What is this? Another thing I want to say is that at least Shane McMahon didn't come into this show, because me and some friends were talking about Shane McMahon as a result, and I was just thinking, no, no Shane McMahon, no, I'm telling you. So anyway, we get Jack Perry running out of the ring and Sting grabbing the Bucks and drilling the EVPs with a double Scorpion Death Drop, with Sting opening the coffin and helping Darby out of it and stuff. Right there is what happened. So yeah, this was the AEW World Championship match, the title versus career, you could say, and stuff. And come on, man, why did Swerve have to lose this one? I'm telling you. So we get Swerve Strickland versus the American Dragon Bryan Danielson, where we have Jim Ross joining the commentary team for the main event. Jim Ross, I don't hear from very often stuff. So anyway, we get them saying, we get Tony Schiavone saying Swerve is smiling, Danielson is not. I don't know what that tells us, you could say, with Danielson blistering Swerve's chest with stiff chops, you could say, before we have Swerve shooting a glance over at Bryan's family in the front row, with Danielson rocking Swerve with round kicks, before we also have Danielson just, looking for the label lock, but Swerve countered with the catapult and stuff. As we have Danielson being busted wide open for the forehead, and we got Danielson just crawling back into the ring, beating the ref's count. As from there, we have Swerve just grabbing Danielson's wrist and beginning to stomp on Danielson's head right here, right in front of Danielson's family and stuff as a result and stuff. I was thinking, come on, man, I really wanted Swerve to win. Come on, that's the reason. That's the reason why I give this 8 out of 10. Because most wrestlers I was going for just didn't make it. They didn't win. That's the thing. This really went against my prediction, I'm gonna say. So yeah, Bryan threw Swerve with the Tiger suplex. Yeah. Yeah, but Danielson clobbered the champion with round kicks, and Danielson this, Danielson that, followed up with an avalanche tiger suplex before we have Danielson stomp on Swerve's head over and over again. And not only that, we get Danielson applying the cattle mutilation right there before Swerve got to his feet and countered by planting Danielson on his head and neck before the AEW medical team immediately jumped into action, checking on Danielson as Swerve chased the medical team away. Not only that, Swerve hit the Swerve stomp and went for the cover and stuff, but Danielson kicked out at the 2 count before, the champion connected with the house call kick right there. And Swerve smashed Danielson with the second house call from there right there. That happening as well as too. And not only that, Swerve drilled Danielson with the third house call before somehow Danielson kicked out of the pin attempt. And that's the thing. He somehow kicked out of that. I don't know what happened. What gave Danielson the upper hand? I just don't know. So yeah, because Danielson was taking some hard slams, you could say. So right there, Danielson got to his feet as Swerve hit Danielson with round kicks. Before we also have Danielson just locking in a triangle and cracking Swerve with elbow strikes. Danielson rocks Swerve with a shoulder capture suplex. With Danielson hitting Swerve with a Basaiku knee. I don't know how to pronounce that. Basaiku knee. I'll just save that. But right there, Swerve shrugged it off, and not only that, Swerve nailed Danielson with another house call kick, with Swerve just planting Danielson with the big pressure. But that right there, Danielson managed to kick out right there as a result. stuff. And yeah, I would have been in shock too if that was me, if I was Swerve right there. So yeah, Danielson managed to kick out right there. I don't know how right there. So you get Tez adding. People are going nuts here with, you know, Hangman Adam Page jumping over the guardrail and stuff. And all of that, we get Tony Schiavone saying we need security right there, right now, and stuff. And that's where you have Page knocking Prince Nana to the mat before security swarmed Hangman Page, which allowed Danielson to drill Swerve with the Psycho knee. But yeah, I think Swerve managed to kick out of the pin right there and stuff. You get the fans really getting into that situation, chanting AEW, AEW right there as Danielson charged out of the corner with the Psycho knee and stuff right there and stuff. So yeah, you could say Taz was commenting that he's got the champion rock and stuff before you have Danielson nailing Swerve with another Psycho knee. Not only that, Danielson put Swerve in the label lock and Swerve tapped out right there and stuff. So yeah, that right there, you have your new freaking champion, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. That's one thing I gotta say, man. I was really going for Swerve to win this one, honestly, man. But anyway, so yeah, that's what AEW is all about and stuff. And yeah, you could say that they're glad to witness. Tony Schiavone was glad to witness it and stuff, even though I wanted some wrestlers to win and they managed to lose as a result. And you know, I rate this show anyway. So yeah, anyway, in other words, I give this show I give a show somewhere between a 7 and 8 out of 10, somewhere between there, or yeah, just 8 out of 10, you could say. So yeah, that's the 8 out of 10 right there. I mean, it looked like an 8 out of 10, but it's mostly a 7 out of 10 in my perspective. Yeah, so yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing right there. So 8 out of 10 it is. Okay, I'm just gonna give it an 8 out of 10 right there. So yeah, anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much what concludes the entire show right there. All of that stuff that went on. Lots of tag teams going on. Several pile drivers, you could say. So yeah. So yep, that's all I have to say for this video. This is Red Boa right here, you could say, and I hope you people do fine in the future and stuff. So yeah. This is Red Boa, and this is the end of the video. So yep. Rock out and be there, guys. Rock out and be there.